welcome everybody to CadreTalk. And my name is Dawn Penfold, and I'm president of Meeting Jobs, which recently partnered with Cadre. So first I want to tell you a little bit about CadreTalk. We have developed this series as an opportunity for you to grab a cup of coffee and take a short break out of your day. Today and from now on, we're also producing this program on a live YouTube feed. Yay! So welcome to those watching us from YouTube. Mark your calendar for every Thursday at 2 p.m. where we'll have a 30-minute conversation with an industry expert on a variety of topics. Our goal at Cadre and Meeting Jobs is to give all meeting and event professionals an opportunity to learn something new in this conversation, even if it's just one takeaway as we all re-engage in our industry. But before we get started, let me share a little bit about who we are. Cadre is a very cool platform and service offering a compliant, and the key word here is compliant, gig economy freelancer staffing model. This includes on-site staffing, virtual meetings, and meeting and event project work. So bottom line, if you're looking to hire staff, virtual event staff, or a longer-term meeting or event project professional, Cadre is the place that you should find this talent. It's affordable and it's compliant. Now, if you're a gig worker in our industry, this is also your go-to place to find work. Now, Meeting Jobs offers an industry-specific job board, as well as services in retained search and resume pre-qualification services for the events and meetings industry. Together, Cadre and Meeting Jobs provides a full complement of labor services across the hiring spectrum, from full-time planners to project-based contract planners to event staff. And you can find out all about us at meetingjobs.com and hirecadre.com. So a few housekeeping notes now. Everyone is muted and you're not seen. So there's no need to throw on extra makeup or make sure that you're presentable from the waist up. You are encouraged to ask questions using the Q&A area if you're on the Zoom platform. And we will address your questions during the program or at the end if time allows. If you're watching through the live YouTube feed, we'll not be able to see your questions, but we'll submit them to Jim, and either questions in either area, we'll send them to him, and he said he'll get back to you in the near future. And then finally, stay tuned for the email announcement for next week's Cadre Talk with my friend and colleague, Wayne Robinson, who's the Assistant VP of FM Global. He's going to talk about Let's Make Lemonade. We'll cover important tips on surviving the new corporate landscape. Today, here we are today, I'm excited. Your new normal, high tech, low cost, and DIY. The creation of high tech functionality. So knowing me, and a lot of you do know me, I've already glazed over completely. But I'm the type of person, you teach it to me once, twice, and 3 times, and I'll catch on, but only at that crisis moment. But when I listen to Jim Spellos and today's speaker, those clouds go away and things become clearer. I've known Jim for about 30 years. We were both meeting planners at the same time. He was a client hiring through Meeting Jobs, and then a candidate looking for and finding jobs through Meeting Jobs. Jim and I have served on the board of MPI GNY together and served as presidents in consecutive years. We founded the MPI GNY charity golf outing together, which has now brought in over $1 million to charities over in the past 20 years. When technology made its presence in our industry and became a constant, Jim's interest and grasp of it was obvious. He moved to his passion, teaching and technology. Jim is president of Meeting You, whose mission is to help people become more productive and comfortable with technology. He has spoken and trained virtually and in person to thousands of people in different industries. If you are in a position to bring a true educator in technology, virtually or in person, Jim is your man. Jim is his mission. Just when you think you're glazing over, just when you think you've touched the wrong key or cannot figure out how it works, just when you think you can't learn a new technology trick, Jim makes it understandable, fun, and easy. I count myself fortunate to have watched him make an impact to so many people. So, Jim, my friend, I'm going to start. On Tuesday, there were 3 jobs posted on Meeting Jobs. considering that it doubled the amount of job postings that we had since last year in March, I'm cautiously optimistic. Okay, I admit, I'm excited. So interesting enough, each and every job description required experience in virtual or hybrid meetings, technology. I may just have answered my first question, but I'm asking you for more details. Why should anybody in the hospitality industry be focused on improving their tech skills?
It's a reasonable question, Dawn. And by the way, I am definitely going to hire you to do all my talk-ups for my sessions. It was so well done. I didn't even have to send a script to her or anything. Hey, everyone, welcome. I am so thrilled to be here for a short amount of time to get a lot of stuff out about the technology. So your new normal. And Dawn's saying it right now. It is your new normal. High tech, low cost, DIY. What does that mean? What does it mean to you? Well, the reality is the first place to start in this conversation is get your phones out. We have a poll. We want to define what the new normal is. And I have a simple question that I want to ask, and I want to see how you respond to it. So it's going to be a text-based poll. We're not doing it through Zoom. The question is, meeting budgets this year in 2021, as we get back to some semblance of normalcy, will exceed those than we had pre-pandemic, 2019. So text to 22333, as it says at the top of the screen, and then your 6-digit number. If your answer is true, your response would be 147977. If your response is false, 148060. So I do think that we've put a softball type of question up here for people, but let's see what we get in terms of the answers.
This was an easy question.
Well, it is, but it's going to be interesting to see what we're really looking at, because quite frankly, I see the numbers right now and I'm kind of surprised. I'm thinking that there's no way that in an era of tight budgets, when companies don't know what their revenue is going to look like, that the planners are going to have more money than before. I think it's really a fascinating exercise, and it's probably going to end up around 50-50. A lot more people really answered that true approach than I would have expected. You see, my take on it, as someone who's been in the industry for as long as Dawn have, and that's a long, long time, by the way, is that we know that organizations tend to be very tight with their revenue, with their money, and they want to make sure that we maximize everything we're getting out of there. So let's get back to the conversation here. You don't want to be the person hanging on with the technology like this guy is. And quite frankly, it's really fascinating that Dawn's talking about the jobs that are coming in all have this request for a hybrid virtual meetings. I really think that nobody has that well, and that might not even be anything more than a euphemism for what's really needed, which is a person who thinks out of the box, who understands enough technology to be able to play. So something to note.
I just want to say there won't be a way to prove that.
There won't. No. This is something that you have to either believe or not believe and move forward with. You know, the proof of it, if anything, is 5-10 years down the line when we see how the industry's changed and how technology keeps integrating into our workspace. But if we use the past as any indicator, you know, imagine 5-10 years ago, worlds without social media and smartphones and stuff like that. We know it creeps up and all of a sudden is there. But the interesting part of the conversation, Dawn, is that in this day and age, the developers are not in a high supply right now. There's a huge shortage talent of people developing applications, developing apps, taking care of stuff that will help us do our job, to have the conference app or have some cool marketing stuff that's out there. And what's this all about? LowCode? I've never heard of that. So anyway, LowCode basics. I'm not sure how this got on the slide. What are we talking about? Wait a minute. Has it completely changed after the pandemic? Have we gotten into a time when now there's a new application for us to think about that we haven't even had on our radar? The answer is yeah. So what in the world is low code? And how does it apply to you? And how does it apply to what we're doing here? So let's start off, as we always should start off, with a basic definition. I don't need to read it. It's on the screen. I'll give you a second. We like how we put that stuff in red to make sure you really focused on the stuff that we really wanted you to be aware of. Little to no.
I've glazed over.
Yeah, It's amazing, though, when we think about it, that all of the stuff that is here that allows us to be able to focus on what we're doing is right in front of us. Yet, I know we have the meeting industry in here. I spent 20 years as a planner. What does this have to do with us? What does all this technical stuff have to do with who we are and how we get our jobs done? Well, obviously, to the rescue right now is what's considered a citizen developer. And that's really what's pushing the envelope into doing things for organizations, because you don't have the resources to be able to access the high-end tools that you need. So what you can do, and this is very, very general, we'll get to specifics in a few seconds, testing ideas, saving time, automating processes, save money. The reason you need to be with this skill set is for all of that, plus your hireability. And I think Dawn confirmed that in the initial conversation, the fact that lack of a knowledge base in the tech space is going to make you unmarketable. But how good are you, and what really does it really work for you? Because you're going to say, wait, it's big companies aren't involved here. There's no large scale company that wants to make me the developer. Why would it really? Microsoft and Amazon and wait a minute. It seems that unbeknownst to us during this pandemic, another technology approach has really become the main player in technology, and that is the DIY approach. Now, you might already be a low coder. How do I know that? Well, I'll ask a few questions. Have you ever developed a website through Wix? If you are, you're using a classic low code operation. What about a database through Airtable for your organization, or maybe forms through Typeform, which is a huge, huge player in the survey space? Or if you didn't use Wix, you might use Squarespace. And by the way, if you didn't use either one of those, wouldn't surprise me if you've used WordPress. They're all low code opportunities for us to do things that 10, 15 years earlier would have taken a team of developers. But maybe, just maybe, what we are in our industry isn't even a low coder. We're a no coder. We don't know the stuff, yet we still want to be involved. We still want to be able to do the stuff that we want to do. So what if you were dreaming tonight? And some of you dream about different things. Maybe I dream about low code, who knows? But what if you could build your own conference app or any type of app you wanted at little to no cost? Or what if you could create an augmented reality marketing tool at little to no cost? Or what if you could connect your database to your email, to your social media, to your whatever at little to no cost? Or what if you could automate your content curation for all of your constituents at, yeah, I hear you, little to no cost? Or even produce a 360 tour of your event space at little to no cost? And what if I can show this all to you in 15 minutes? And tell you that all these tools are available, not at little to no cost, but at no cost and at no code. So you're not a low coder or a no coder, you're a low coster. You want to get your job done without the financial impact. So reality is, you're going to think about these tools free. And the answer is yes, no, maybe somewhat. Okay, let's think about this. Everything I'm going to show you today, I'm using the completely free version. These companies need to make money. The way they'll make money is in the freemium approach, which is free to use at a basic level, and then monthly costs, maybe annual, but monthly subscription costs, which allows you to pay a la carte. And in fact, some of the stuff is amazingly inexpensive. So let's begin the journey. I got not a lot of time, but I have 5 tools I want to show you. And number 1 is, I think, the game changer. It's building your own conference app for free. And if you know how to use Google Sheets, you can do this, and you can do this today. So I'm going to show you right now a basic Google Sheet of a program that I have. And in fact, this is just a Google Sheet. But what I'm going to showcase right now is the app that is called Glide, Glide. In fact, it's go.glideapps.com. And here is the Cadre. Oh, wait a minute. The Cadre 2021. I got the wrong logo in there. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got to fix this. You know, it's really difficult to change things here. So it would be interesting if I could just make one or two moves right here and then go back to the app, and then maybe I'll reload it, and who knows what could happen, but maybe, just maybe, we can, in like 15 seconds, start changing everything around. Now, of course, the logo is not going to show up. It worked perfectly in advance. Isn't that always the case with technology? But trust me on that one, that logo is there. It's just, it's hiding right now. The bottom line is that this particular app I made after everything was in the Google Sheet in about 10 minutes with a calendar, with a list of all the speakers. Hey, Dawn is speaking. That's pretty cool. Let me see what she's speaking on. There's a bio, but there's no classes for her. Wait a minute, this is weird. I know I put her. Oh no, I forgot to put her in here. So here she is in the conscious leadership session that we know she's going to just knock it dead. So wouldn't it really be really cool if we can just hit one button, and in about a couple of seconds we can see the information coming up about the session that she's doing. This is all straight from a Google Sheet. Everything.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
If you're putting this all together and you get caught, if you don't know how to do something, is there tech support that helps you with that?
An amazing community. And I think all of these tools really work the same way. There's support. You know, if you've had issues with Zoom, you've gone onto their support and you've waited on their queue for an hour and a half and you've gotten someone to help you. But what all these tools have are community support, that you can go out there, and if you're stuck, I mean, literally within minutes, if not hours at the most, someone, if not multiple people, will get back to you. So it's truly amazing that people who are using this and who are driving the process forward are helping all of those out who are just starting off. So yeah, the answer is
yeah, you're not alone.
Not at all. But the thing is, it's drag and drop. So if I wanted to add something else in here, all I have to do is just move this around. I can change where things are. Maybe I don't want this. Maybe I want the speakers below the categories. I can change. You can make your own app free of charge. It is so straightforward. In fact, one of the things I've been working on, you know, since we were doing healthy stuff here, is we've created an app of all these recipes that are healthy, plant-based types. Again, how long does it take to do that? In minutes. Now, obviously, you need the data in the right place. So the bottom line here, whether you need it for a conference app, whether you need it when you're on site and you want access to things that work within your team, doable. Number one, Glide. Not the only player, though, in the space. Understand there are companies like AppyPie and Bubble and AppSheet, which is a Google product, and Microsoft. So the fact that we can create apps for conferences, for facilities, for our events, for whatever we need at no cost. Now remember, even if you're not building this for the actual event itself, to build it as a prototype, to understand and showcase what you want to deliver, and at the same time, to be able to hold your costs down. It's an amazing, amazing functionality. Number two in the conversation, augmented reality. So I figured we might as well take a look at Cadre as an option here. And what we have here is their logo. Now, if I was with you right now, what I would do is I would actually physically show you through my phone augmented reality, but I'm in Queens and you're throughout the country. So the next best thing is going to be a video. So I took this video the other day. Well, I'm not going to talk about it. Let me just show you what we're going to do. So right now, it's going to be a video that's going to start by looking at my phone. And actually, no, it's going to start with the title slide, as all videos should start with. But after that, it's going to have my phone, and you'll see that I have at the top my area with all my augmented reality apps. You do have a lot of augmented, never mind, that's another conversation. So we have that, and now the Roar app, and we'll talk about the product in a second, is what I'm going to open up. And when I hover right over that logo, it's going to look like, well, what comes to the camera with one addition, that red circle with the fingerprint. See, all the user has to do right now is put their finger over that fingerprint, wait about a second, it'll start scanning, and that logo.
So you're a professional travel director, jet setting around the globe, sipping pina coladas while running meetings on exotic beaches. Ha, just kidding. It's more like you're working around the clock, rarely seeing the light of day.
Okay, two things. How long did that take to do? Yeah, 4 minutes. The cost? Nothing. Completely nothing, completely free of charge. In fact, the tool is raw. And as you can see here, you have the ability to have different types of logos. Any image that you have, you can turn into an augmentation, into augmented reality. Put in the back of your head that if AR hasn't exploded on the scene yet, just wait, because the next year to 18 months, this small company named Apple is coming out with their first augmented reality glasses that probably will change the game, and in fact, very well may change the whole focus down the road of us being smartphone centric to us being augmented device centric. I know it's way too weird to think about right now, but AR is here to stay, and especially in this hybrid world that we're in right now, the ability to pop up information for people clearly is spectacular.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt with a quick question.
Go for it.
How do we know about this technology, emerging technology? I mean, you're a geek, you're into it, you're reading about it all the time. I'm not, but how do I know what is coming along that we can implement or can use?
Fair question. I mean, other than attending Cadre webinars?
Yeah.
Right. Just want to make sure that we understand that a lot of organizations are going, well, we're going to bring people in who know this, but the reality is all that information is out there. And in fact, if you give me a few minutes, one of the tools we're going to talk about will specifically and directly answer that question.
Okay, good.
So, yeah. Got another one, or want me to keep going?
No, go ahead.
Cool. Okay. This one, you may not have heard of Zapier, but it's a game changer. And again, any good application, any good tool essentially has a specific fix that they work with. What Zapier does is takes all your disparate tools and systems you're using and allows you to automate and integrate them with no code, with just a drag and drop interface. So you see here from their main page, Google Sheets and Slack and Gmail and Calendar and social media, so much that's out there. But let me just show you in specific, because I've been using it. Look at the lower left side, the free version. So I have a limited number of these zaps I can create. But for example, I wanted to create this link between when we get something in a Google Sheet and notification. So I created this recipe form confirmation. So I'm going to click on it right here. And all that Zapier is going to ask me to do is tell me what the trigger is. The trigger is a new entry in the form that I put out there. And then it's going to send it to me as a Gmail. No cost. Instant automation. Want to know when your organization is being mentioned on social? You want to put it into a workbook. You want to be able to take anything you can think of. Zapier is the game-changing automation tool that's out there to allow organizations to tie those disparate dots together. Price, what you see there is the free version. And again, most of these tend to work in the $20, $30 a month, sometimes even less than that price range. So clearly a heck of a lot less than building huge systems. You mentioned the question, Dawn, about how to learn this stuff, and how to learn anything is to be able to really harness the power of the news. And in fact, the power of the news is nothing more than the power of RSS, really simple syndication. Man, this goes back to my DOS days when we're talking about stuff like RSS, really.
Oh.
But the bottom line here is what I want to be able to do is curate content that will allow me to stay in touch with whatever topic is of interest to me. So the tool I'm using here is Feedly. And I've taken some time on the left side to identify some of the tools, some of the services that I want to follow, and they just send me content constantly. So I see this Apple launches a new AR experience. That's pretty cool. I can choose to read it later, or I can save it to a board I created with augmented reality. What does that mean? Well, it means that it's my favorite save, but it also now allows me with one click to make the board public. I can share it with my community. You can share it with all the people following Cadre. The people out there can follow content with everyone that they have as a colleague or a constituent. Or you can, with one click, create a newsletter for everyone based on this content. RSS, truly a game-changing power. And again, we could spend hours going through all this stuff, but we have one more to show before we wrap up this component, and that's 360. I know you have the picture of the people in the goggles and all that, and it's cool stuff, but they take ugly images, you know. I mean, really, when you think about it, 360 will never help sell your facility, or your, of course it will. So that is ugly, but you can see what that is in a second, because that's actually my house. And all those little dots there are different camera shots. I've taken about 9, actually 12 pictures. Why is that important in this 360 conversation? Pretty simple, because an organization called Matterport allows you to use their services free of charge. Take a few pictures with your phone, and then it will turn those still pictures into this. And you see where that ugly stuff comes in first. That's the dollhouse view. It scoots in. We sort of walk around, say hi to my wife, take a look at the dining room. Didn't pick up the stuff here in the trash. How easy is it to come up with a 360 view for your organization?
You're seeing this a lot in real estate. You're seeing this a lot in real estate now, because people are buying houses and not visiting.
Well, Matterport is one of the leaders in the real estate area. They were one of the first companies to be doing it there. But what we got to now do in our industry is sort of integrate. You know, the question of all this stuff is really, Jim, for our industry, well, facility marketing. I remember even pre-pandemic, I couldn't imagine going to a trade show when they were having the traditional trade shows and not have a booth have glasses that I could really see something other than a flat photograph. Your promotion. Your event site inspection takes the camera and a tripod with you, take a few shots, and you'll blow the team away to give that information that you want. Conference marketing, it's all there. But that's what's important. And I'm going to make you think about this one for a second. Right? Out of the box thinking, got to do it. You really, really, really got to do it. You want more? I know we're out of time, but OBS Studio.
I've got a question. Can I ask a question? Somebody said, do older adults accept AI? My clients are not into cartoons.
Okay, AI, are you talking about AI or AR? Because we were just talking.
The question said AI. Sue, can you say, did you mean AI or AR?
I'm going to start the question answer with AR, because that's what I was just talking about. Yeah. I think there is definitely a generational issue there, but what you have to do is understand that when AR is about, you know, a filter on Snapchat, there's nothing about it. But when it's about going to a conference and being able to use your phone to hover over a sign and get detailed information so I can make an educated decision as to whether I want to go to session A or session B. I think all of the answers of this is in how you use it and not in the solution itself. It's not just about the tech. It is about how we use the tech. So let me just wrap this up. We can continue the conversation and questions from studios that can do high-level streaming and video editing, to communications and cartoon creations, to your podcasting tools, Audacity and Film Express, to actually even creating stuff for your Google Home and your Alexa to be able to have automated conversations that could even promote your own business. These are all free. These are all free of charge. Now, don't get rid of those coders yet. They do serve a purpose. But the bottom line right here is to really throw it to you right now as a way to end and then get to our conversation of Q&A. So we have one more poll that is here. So what do we want to do here? We want to find out. I don't know why it's doing that, but we want to ask you which of these tools are you most likely to try. 22333. And if it's Feedly, it's 148907. You see the numbers down the right side of the screen. Matterport, Roar, Zapier. If you're interested in using a bunch of them, well, we have an answer for that. And if your response is, may I please have my pen and pencil back? Well, you can answer that way too. The bottom line in all this information, and let's make sure that we're live on this, you know, a lot of them way cool. Somebody still does want their pen and pencil back. I get that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But you see, no surprise there. We got a lot of stuff. What you guys missing? Zapier. you got to think about that connect the dots automation. Maybe I didn't do a great job of showcasing and explaining it, but they are way cool. And at that point, Dawn, what I want to do is just say thank you for letting me be here. Throw it back over to you. I'm going to get this stuff off the screen.
I want to thank you because you put together what you normally present in a 3-hour session in a half hour. And we've got 2 questions. It was AR, not AI. So, and then somebody else mentioned, will you be sharing a cheat sheet of all these apps?
I'm always happy. If you send me a note, I'm happy to have the conversation with you. Matter of fact, I'll always want to be able to give you the information that you know, that you need to know. So put my information in the chat area, send me an email, happy to do so. And so I want to make sure that, I'm sorry, Dawn?
Else just said, how can we help you, Jim? And it's true. How can
bring me into your organization. Let me share the wealth with other people. Let me do virtual or on-site when we go back to on-site. But you know what? Whether you do or not, I'm going to be here digging on what's out there and making sure that we can find out how this stuff can help all of us. I think part of it is that we just have to understand, as we have this new normal mindset, that things change. It's not going back. It's going to be back somewhat and changed and move forward, and just want everyone to be at that point where they're comfortable with their opportunities to be able to really work in the new normal and the new workspace.
Okay, great. And we'll be sending a copy of this session out to everybody who's been attending and who didn't attend but signed up. And so you'll get a copy of all the slides and everything that Jim went through by that presentation. Jim, thank you. I'm looking at the chats and people are saying, I adore Jim. I love Jim. He's great, the whole thing. And you're like a brother to me. So I'm kind of sitting there going, yeah, okay.
Stop that.
Yeah, stop that. But anyway, I want to thank you. It means a lot to me. Maybe we can bring you back for another Cadre talk at a later time on another subject. Okay, great. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Thank you for coming to Cadre Talk. And Jim, be well and say hello to Marjorie. And I like what you did with the kitchen. Looks good.
It looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay, good. Bye, everyone. Take care.